Today I'm going to show you how to press and preserve flowers for artwork. It's incredibly simple and rewarding, and once you have them pressed, you can use them for a lot of different things. So let's get started. These columbines are actually what got me started on this idea, on this video idea, because I remember when I was younger, my grandma would press columbines and make wonderful bookmarks and decorate candles with them. So I'm going to do that today. Alright, not going to pick the dandelions because the center bit is just too thick and sturdy. If you kind of squeeze it, then you'll feel how much mass it has, and that will generally mean that the flower will not press well. Here's another example of a plant that would not press well. The leaves probably would because they're nice and flat, but this flower bud here is really thick and fleshy, and I don't think that it would press well. It just would get all sticky and wouldn't work. Pluck some of these delicate leaves, and right now these are just weeds, just little weed leaves that I think might look nice in arrangements. Alright, these are some little daisies. I haven't pressed daisies before. I don't know how well they'll work because they've got kind of a sturdy center here, but sometimes you just need to do an experiment. And I'm also going to get some leaves. Yeah. Leaves are generally a pretty good bet. I like to go with the smaller, more delicate leaves. Sorry about the background noise there, but we'll see how these work out. Right, so for equipment, you need a flower press or some heavy books, some sort of smooth absorbent paper, like I prefer to use Kleenexes, tissue paper, or a smooth paper towel could work. Anyway, let's start flattening some plants. So you can see, I dismantled the flower press. I have put this Kleenex down. I'm going to put this orchid down on top of that. I have never tried to press an orchid before. I don't know how well it's going to turn out, but this is why we experiment. What generally does work out well, though, is leaves, as long as the leaf is kind of thin and not thick and fleshy. So you want to make sure that the leaves and the flowers are not touching each other. They will definitely stick to each other when they dry. I guess if you want to do something like that, you can, but I want to be able to have all of my pieces be separate so that when it's time, I can arrange them. Right, these are violet leaves. As I said, leaves, they're really cute little heart-shaped leaf. They're also edible, but obviously I will not be eating these. Then, when I am ready, I put this down. I like to have 2 Kleenexes between each layer because that gives some material for absorbing the moisture. I got these pretty red maple leaves, and I'm sure that you want a nice list of flowers that are good to press and leaves that are good to press, but I'm gonna give you an unsatisfying answer, I'm afraid. You're just gonna have to run some experiments. Now, these experiments, pretty low risk here. The worst that's going to happen is your leaf or your flower doesn't work and you ruin a Kleenex. But I can tell you that leaves are generally a safe bet for pressing flower, for getting pressed. At least if they're thin, not too fleshy leaves, like succulent leaves, I almost guarantee would not work. And something you want to be aware of, especially if you have like some autumn leaves or some colored leaves, they won't always keep their color. So expect that the color may change and shift a bit. Okay, another layer. Make sure that your leaf is all the way on the press. This is not as big of a deal if you have books that you're using to squish your plants, but since I am actually using the press, I have a very, very precise area that I can use. So one flower that does work very well is columbine. And again, you want a flower that is going to look good when it is flattened. And you wouldn't, just by looking at these columbines, think that they will look nice when flattened, but I can guarantee you that they will. Because these guys have so much volume. You'd think that that just wouldn't work. But I have seen the results. And this is again, and you have to understand that it won't look good like this, but they will look good in profile. And so once they get squished like that, it'll work out nicely. When you choose your flowers, make sure that they are not wet, because moisture will make the drawing process more difficult. Lay them as flat as possible. There's a viola, or a wood violet rather. I think it'll turn out okay. Try to get specimens of flowers that are as perfect as possible. And when you lay them down to be pressed, think in 2 dimensions. So I'm going to try to get it so that it will capture that face, because I don't want it from the side. It would probably work as well, but that's not the view I want. So have that there. Keep putting them down until I've got this full. And then put that down. And to squish this so that I don't have to deal with too much height here, if I can avoid it. Got some ferns that should press nicely. I've got some wildflowers. I have no idea how they'll press. I'm going to get all of this stuff set up and flattened, and then I will put the flower press back together and we'll come see how it looks in a few weeks. All right. Everything is inserted and pressing down. And I'll see how it looks in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. Look at that. As expected, the leaves pressed just beautifully. These are very delicate, so handle with care. You are looking for something that will come up off of your paper in one piece. Then it means be able to work with it. If it looks dark and discolored like this, doesn't mean it's unusable, but just gonna have to be very careful with that. Okay, it's a little daisy. If you recall, I was not sure how this would turn out. Wow, that is so pretty. I'm excited to work with that. Leaves turned out very well. More flowers here. I usually just leave them between the papers to store them until I'm ready to use them. Ooh, it's one of the little red helicopters. Looks like it turned out nicely. Okay, more daisies. Wow, that one just pressed beautifully. Gorgeous. Oh, and even kept the purple. The filigree turned out nicely. Okay, let's look farther down to some of the more experimental ones. Again, this delicate filigree. Looks like it pressed wonderfully. This one is a little bit stuck. Like I said, just be very slow and careful taking them off, because if they are stuck to the paper, it's very, very easy to rip them. Gentle and slow. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Let's see what we've got here on the side. All right, you remember the orchid? Huh. Let's see. Unsure at this point if we're successful or not with the orchid. Let's find out. Oh, gentle, gentle, gentle. Huh. least partly successful. Oh, nice. Wow. Look at that. It's almost translucent. I don't think I like the center bit, but the back is certainly very pretty. Yeah, I think I can do something with this. All right. Columbines. Let's find us a columbine or two. Oh, here's a nice representative. Wood violet. All right. Huh. Pretty columbines. Look at that. Not quite as nice as I had hoped, but it kept most of its color. Looks like these are kind of a mixed bag. Like this one didn't turn out as nicely as this one, which is quite handsome. And this kind of orange one, little orange one here. Look at that. So pretty. I wonder if some of them leaked through each other. Maybe I should have put more paper in between. So the first few times you work with flowers, especially if you're new at this or new to the flower that you're working with, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to run some experiments, and that's fine. It's part of the process. All right, fern is looking gorgeous. Let's see what else I can show you here real quick. Hopefully you're not getting too bored watching me looking at pretty flowers here. Uh-oh. Yeah, this one is torn. Can possibly still use some of the pieces though. Oh, that one turned out nicely. Ooh. Now, colored leaves may not keep their color when they're pressed. They'll definitely keep their shape. This one faded a bit, but I think it's quite handsome. These bookmarks were made by my grandmother literally decades ago with dried flowers and glitter and contact paper. They were the inspiration for this video. That's it for now. Now I have a bunch of dried flowers that I can use to make bookmarks or cards or any number of crafts. And in future videos, I'll show you how you might use those. But for now, if you enjoyed this video and got value of it, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I will see you next time on Make, Mend, Grow with Diana. Have a good one.